guys, welcome back. Part two of our meeting here with Ryan's Pest Control. We're going to talk a little bit of some do's and don'ts as far as the real estate industry. Ryan, what can you tell us?
Okay, so as I previously stated, I've got over almost 33 years experience. And the one thing I always tell my employees, you've never seen it all, because I stand corrected every day that I think I've seen it all. But over 40,000 inspections, I've got a pretty wide spectrum of what I've seen, what I haven't seen, what's resulted in decisions that people have made. So I'm going to start with the don'ts. Okay, the number one don't that drives me nuts is I have a block home, I do not need a termite inspection. The only difference between a block home and a frame home is the load-bearing walls. Everything within is the same. The framing, the door jamb, the drywall, they eat the paper off the drywall, the truss system, trim is all vulnerable.
Lots of wood in a block house.
Lots of wood. And what people don't realize is the exterior is not the only entry point. You have plumbing lines coming up in the middle of the house. So if you have a kitchen and up come the termites in the middle of the house, what good are your block walls doing at that point? I've treated as many block homes as I have framed, if not more.
Okay, that's an interesting
So that's
thing. And I hear that a lot too.
Yeah, huge don't. As it pertains to real estate, the seller has a termite bond, I don't need an inspection. And what people don't realize, and as we kind of touched on in the first time I was here, is that a termite bond or a termite warranty only covers one specific entity, typically. Okay. It'll cover subterranean, or it'll cover drywood. Whereas the state of Florida, when you're doing a wood destroying organism report during your due diligence period, covers wood rot, drywood, subterranean, damp wood, powder post, beetle. So if one takes the approach, I have a bond, I don't need to worry about it, buys the house, and then suddenly puts the bonds for subterranean, then walk in, they got drywood termite damage, it's theirs. Had they done that WDO, they were doing their due diligence and found out about it. Now they have an option. Do I want to continue? Will the seller pay to tend the house? Whereas if you close with just that bond, you're stuck with that, number one. Secondly, if you did a WDO on a house where the bond was in place, and I do an inspection and I found subterranean damage, once again, you have options. If you close, you have one option, and that's to deal with that company. And you might not like what they do or what they say. Another thing people don't think about, I have a bond. If you flip over any service agreement, any termite warranty, and it's consistent, there's a whole bunch of exclusions, mine included. And the one that people, I see their faces, their jaws just drop is, it has to be live. So if you decide to remodel your house and you have a bond and you open up the walls in the kitchen and it's just all eaten and you can just crumble it in your hands, unless they're live, that company's not responsible for that. And the logic is we treated it, we did our job, we just couldn't see this.
Right, and you can't go in and replace wood that's inside of a wall with the treatment of...
Exactly, you don't know that it's there, but the damage is there. Now say for instance I'm doing an inspection in the same scenario, I find one pinhole, they have options. I'm not comfortable with this, there's damage up above, pinholes here, I'm going to go look at something else. Whereas if you close, you have no options and that's not going to be covered.
Sure. Okay.
So never ever be complacent with something like that.
Just because the previous owner has a bond, it certainly makes sense to have your own inspection performed.
Well, an inspection performed. We have to look at this. A lot of people, a lot of realtors I run into say, I don't like the bonding company, I want someone different, and fair enough. However, they are two different liabilities. The state controls my ability to perform my job, and they can take away my and my employee's livelihood, with our licensing. I'm beholden to that license. So even though I have a bond on a property, I'm going to report what's there regardless.
Right.
So, and everyone should.
Sure. Okay.
Dues, typically it's most people's largest investment. For goodness sakes, $80 to have those options, to make an informed decision. Your home inspection for roof, major systems, appliances, plumbing, electrical, which probably costs 3 times as more.
Yeah, and I guess, and again, I realize it depends on the house, and obviously a 2-bedroom, 900 square foot house is going to be a different price than a 12-bedroom mansion that's 10,000 square feet. But on average, can you give us some sort of range as what? So we have termites. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily the end of the story, worst thing in the entire world. I guess my question is, people think, oh my gosh, it's going to cost a fortune to treat for these. What would you say maybe an expectation would be to do something like that for the 2 different types?
It does vary. Preventatively, on average, with us now for a house under 3,000 square feet that does not have a problem, just to prevent them, is around $540. So, you know, I mean, a large house, I did one yesterday on the river, it's going to be just over 1,000, but it's you know, it's a 6,000.
Which again, to me, I mean, when I get a house on the river, I mean, without even knowing, I know it's over $500,000, so a pretty small investment, you know, to protect an extremely large investment.
You know, it's a no-brainer to me. And I tell folks when I'm doing the inspection, I hate salespeople. I don't want to be a salesperson. I want to give them informed information and let them trust their intelligence and make a good decision. So, how many people do you know that do not insure their houses for floods and storms and everything? You know, sinkholes and hurricanes. Well, termites statistically annually cause more damage than everything you insure your house for combined.
Wow.
So the insurance industry wants absolutely nothing to do with termite insurance. That's where we filled in that void.
Okay.
But unlike hurricanes, we can prevent it.
Right.
So your odds of this happening are so much higher than anything else, but you can prevent it. You know.
So when you speak of prevention, you treat for, say, subterranean.
Yeah.
Pull them out. You said you treat the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And is that something you do every year annually? Is treat the soil around the house, or how often is that performed?
It varies. So in '86 they banned all the inorganic products like chloridane. They forced us, which environmentally is good. They forced us into organic products, and so they break down. So the product I use is Termidor, typically nothing else or a variation thereof, and I've made the decision to retreat every 10 years.
Okay, so you treat, and you're basically good for 10 years as far as the treatment goes, as long as you continue with the annual inspections.
Correct. Well, they renew them annually. We come out and inspect it annually.
Really?
Benefit of that is we're not just looking for subterranean. We're looking for
looking
everything.
Right. So now they're not just the subterranean. Okay, great. But does that mean that the drywood, as you touched on earlier, doesn't mean that you had drywood swarm or whatever, and they somehow got into the structure, or the beetles, or rot, or anything else, right?
Yeah, we'll tell the customer about everything as far as that goes. So, you know, this is general information as well. You know, each house is unique.
Sure. I mean, there's something
and can cost more depending on the situation.
Sure.
Right? Another common ado is please understand what your coverages are, because one will not cover the other. And I almost weekly go to frustrated customers of other companies. I make a point of my folks telling them this is what your coverage is for. There's not, you know, this can happen. Just understand that, you know, if you have subterranean coverage, it's not going to cover the tent your house.
Gotcha.
And we're not being mean. It's just the biology is different. Fire and flood.
Right.
Different insurance policies. Same drywood and subterranean.
Okay.
Dues, keep the house treated. Regardless, you know, if you have a good relationship with a pest control company that's treated you well, reliable, got a good reputation, my goodness, just treat the house. You know, you can prevent these things.
Okay.
And they can cause significant damage. It takes a long time, but they can cause significant damage. They eat about an inch a day.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. In a week, I mean, you know, talking damage. So
That's a full blown
worst case scenario, full colony.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that covered a lot of information, and you know, if you have more questions, obviously, is there a way that they could reach you, Ryan? And
Sure.
do you have a website? Do you have phone numbers that they could call if they have more questions?
Absolutely.
Want to schedule an inspection? Want to schedule a treatment?
Yeah, the office is located at 751 South Young Street. That's in Ormond Beach. If you're getting your holiday cheer, we're right next door to the ABC. And the phone number is 386-672-7775, and we can schedule inspection. And if I may add one more do in there,
Sure.
as it pertains to real estate, we'll come look at a house before it's been sold. We just don't issue a WDOR. It doesn't cost anything. It's free.
Oh.
And you can then, as a homeowner, have options where you don't have options once it's under contract.
Right. So how can you beat that? You kind of get ahead of it, right?
Get ahead of it.
Sure.
Get ahead of it. And this doesn't cost anything, so that can be scheduled at 386-672-7775.
So why wouldn't you? Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks again. Tune in next time when we interview another business owner here locally in the area and kind of pick their brain when it comes to real estate. And again, if you have any need for real estate as far as buying and selling, obviously reach out to Team Zimmerman, 386-846-1515. Thank you.